Lin Xiao opened his eyes and saw a ceiling made of gold dragons. He blinked. He blinked again. His childhood ceiling had water stains and one crack shaped like a banana. This ceiling looked like it cost more than his entire apartment. "Okay," he said slowly. "Either I won the lottery, or I am dead." He sat up too fast, and his head spun. A mirror stood across the room, and he crawled out of bed to look at it, dragging the blanket like a cape because he was dramatic even in crisis. The face staring back was not his face. It was younger, paler, with sharp cheekbones and an expression like it had never once told a joke and survived the silence afterward. "No way," he whispered. "No actual way." He knew this face. He had read about this face for 312 chapters. He was Lin Yu, the most useless side character in the novel The Alpha Emperor's Divine Beast. Lin Yu's entire job in the story was to be rude to the Emperor's tiger, get caught, get sentenced to death in Chapter 40, and then disappear from the plot forever so the real couple, the Emperor and his beast companion, could have their tragic, beautiful, tear-jerking romance. Lin Xiao used to cry reading that romance. Now he was about to star in his own execution. "Nope," he said. "Not happening. I refuse." He had read this novel so many times he basically had it memorized, which sounds impressive until you remember it did not save his real life, and was now the only thing standing between him and a sword through the neck. Knowledge is power, except when the test is, "Please don't die," and the syllabus is, "You will die." A servant girl knocked and entered without waiting, because apparently in this world knocking was optional, and personal space was a myth. "Young Master Lin, the Emperor's tiger has escaped its enclosure again. The guards request you stay far away, given your history." "Given my history," Lin Xiao repeated. "What history?" The girl looked at him like he had asked what air was. "You scolded the royal tiger last week, young master. You called it, and I quote, an overgrown cat with anger issues. The tiger has not forgotten." Lin Xiao remembered this scene from the book, Chapter 39, right before the death sentence chapter. Great. Fantastic. He was standing right at the edge of his own funeral, and apparently the original Lin Yu had a mouth that wrote checks his neck couldn't cash. "New plan," he announced to absolutely nobody, since the servant girl had already left. "I will never speak to that tiger again. I will never look at that tiger. If that tiger and I are ever in the same room, I will simply become a ghost and leave my body behind." He spent the whole morning practicing being invisible, which mostly meant hiding behind curtains and once behind a very confused gardener. By lunchtime, he had a plan. Avoid the palace gardens, avoid the training grounds, avoid anywhere a giant murder cat might be hanging out, and somehow find a way out of this entire kingdom before Chapter 40 arrived. He almost made it through the whole day. Then, while sneaking through what he thought was an empty hallway to find the kitchen, because trauma makes a man hungry, he turned a corner and found himself face to face with 8 feet of orange and black stripes, golden eyes, and a tail that twitched like it was counting down to something bad. The tiger did not roar. It did not pounce. It sat down, very calmly, like a cat in a sunbeam, and stared at him. "Okay," Lin Xiao said, raising both hands slowly. "Hi. Hello. We don't know each other. Whatever the last guy said to you, that was him, not me. New management, fresh start." The tiger tilted its head. "I'm serious," he continued, backing up one careful step at a time. "I am very respectful of tigers. I think tigers are great. National Geographic's favorite. Apex Predator of the Year. Every year, no contest." From somewhere behind the tiger, a deep voice spoke, smooth and amused, like silk wrapped around a blade. "He doesn't usually sit still for strangers." Lin Xiao froze. Slowly, he looked past the tiger's striped shoulder and saw a tall man leaning against a pillar, arms crossed, dressed in robes so fine they probably cost more than the entire palace garden. Black hair, sharp jaw, eyes the color of a storm that hadn't decided yet if it would pass quietly or destroy a village. It was him, Alpha Emperor Jiang Heng, the male lead, the actual main character of the whole tragic romance novel, the man who, according to Chapter 40, would personally sign Lin Xiao's death order without blinking. "Oh no," Lin Xiao said out loud, "by complete accident." The emperor raised one eyebrow. "Oh no? I mean, oh wow." Lin Xiao corrected immediately, smiling so hard his face hurt. "Wow, Your Majesty, what a nice tiger you have. Very calm, very majestic. I was just admiring him, from a distance, a respectful distance." The tiger chose that exact moment to lean forward and sniff Lin Xiao's sleeve, then let out a low, rumbling sound that was somewhere between a purr and a judgment. Jiang Heng's mouth curved, just slightly, at one corner. "Interesting," he said. "Last week you called him an overgrown cat with anger issues. Today you're calling him majestic." Lin Xiao's soul left his body for a brief vacation. "People change," he managed. "Growth, self-improvement. I've been doing a lot of reading lately." The emperor's gaze did not leave him, not even once, the entire time he spoke. Lin Xiao spent the rest of that day convinced he had survived only because the universe enjoyed watching him suffer slowly instead of all at once. He returned to his room, shut the door, sat on the floor, and had a long talk with himself about life choices, none of which he could actually take credit for, since this whole mess belonged to a fictional idiot named Lin Yu. "This is fine," he told the ceiling. "Everything is fine. I just have to avoid one emperor and one tiger for the rest of my natural life. Simple." It was not simple. The next morning, a guard arrived at his door with a folded note sealed in gold wax. Lin Xiao opened it with the kind of dread usually reserved for opening a text that starts with, "We need to talk. The royal tiger has refused to eat unless you are present at his feeding. J.H." "Absolutely not," Lin Xiao said to the empty room. "Tigers don't do that. Tigers eat. That's their whole personality." He went anyway, because apparently refusing a direct note from the emperor was a fast way to skip straight to chapter 40. The feeding grounds were sunny and open, with a low stone wall and a massive iron gate where the tiger was usually kept during meals, for everyone's safety. When Lin Xiao arrived, the tiger was lying on its side, completely ignoring a perfectly good slab of meat in front of it, looking deeply unimpressed with the universe. The moment it spotted Lin Xiao, it sat up. "No," Lin Xiao said immediately. "Pointing a finger like that would help. Don't do that. Don't get excited. I am not your emotional support human." The tiger walked, strolled really, like it owned the place, which to be fair, it kind of did, directly over to the meat, picked it up in its jaws, and dropped it at Lin Xiao's feet, like a dog presenting a stick. "I don't want it," Lin Xiao said. "I'm not hungry. Also, that's raw. Also, I'm a person, not a tiger. We have different dietary needs." From the shaded pavilion nearby, Jiang Heng watched the entire exchange with an expression Lin Xiao was starting to recognize. Quiet, calculating, and far too entertained for a man who supposedly carried the weight of an empire on his shoulders. "He won't eat unless you're nearby," Jiang Heng said. "It seems my tiger has decided he likes you." "Tell him to unlike me," Lin Xiao said. "We can still be friends. Just, long-distance friends. Pen pals. Tigers can write letters, right? No? Okay, never mind." Jiang Heng actually laughed at that, short, low, surprised out of him like he hadn't planned on it. It was the first time Lin Xiao had heard him laugh, and annoyingly, his traitor heart skipped one whole beat over it. "You're funny," the emperor said. "Last week you called him an overgrown cat. This week he's bringing you his dinner. I have never seen him do that for anyone, including me." "Maybe he has bad taste," Lin Xiao muttered. "Careful," Jiang Heng said, stepping closer. Close enough that Lin Xiao had to tilt his head up to keep eye contact. "Insulting his taste is basically insulting mine. I raised him." "I would never insult your Majesty's taste," Lin Xiao said quickly. "Your taste in tigers is exquisite. 5 stars. Would recommend." Why was he like this? Why could he not simply be normal for one single conversation? The tiger, completely done with being ignored, head-butted Lin Xiao directly in the side, knocking him half a step sideways and nearly into the emperor's chest. Jiang Heng's hand came up automatically to steady him, fingers wrapping around Lin Xiao's arm, and for one frozen second, neither of them moved. Up close, the emperor's eyes weren't just storm-colored. They had flecks of gold in them, like sunlight breaking through clouds right before the rain stopped. Lin Xiao stepped back, so fast he nearly tripped over the tiger. "Sorry," he said. "Sorry. Personal space. I respect personal space. For humans and tigers both." Jiang Heng's hand stayed in the air a second longer than necessary before he lowered it. "You apologize a lot for someone who insulted my pet to his face a week ago." "That was the old me," Lin Xiao said. "New me is very polite. New me has learned from his mistakes." Jiang Heng said, unconvinced but clearly enjoying himself. "We'll see." That night, lying in bed, Lin Xiao stared at the ceiling and reviewed the day's events with the seriousness of a man preparing a legal defense. Fact 1. The tiger liked him. This was bad, because in the original novel, the tiger biting a noble's sleeve in chapter 39 was the exact incident that started the chain of events leading to Lin Yu's execution. Fact 2. The emperor did not seem to hate him. This was also bad, in a completely different and far more confusing way, because nowhere in 312 chapters did Jiang Heng ever look at side character Lin Yu like that. Like he was interesting. Like he was worth a second glance. This was not in the book, Lin Xiao whispered to the dark. None of this was in the book. Somewhere outside his window, faint and probably imaginary, he thought he heard a low, satisfied tiger purr. 3 days passed without disaster, which made Lin Xiao deeply suspicious, because in his experience, calm days in tragic novels existed only to make the next disaster hit harder. He used the piece to study his surroundings like his life depended on it, because it did. He learned the palace layout, memorized which guards patrolled which halls, and figured out exactly where the kitchen staff hid the good snacks. He also, very reluctantly, learned the tiger's daily schedule, since avoiding it required knowing where it would be at any given hour. The tiger had a name, by the way, Da Hu, which basically meant big tiger, because apparently nobody in this empire had bothered with creativity when naming their 300-pound death machine. "Bold of them to name you something so simple when you're this much trouble," Lin Xiao told Da Hu one afternoon, sitting on the low wall near the garden while the tiger lounged in the shade nearby. He had given up trying to avoid the animal entirely. It was like trying to avoid weather. Da Hu opened one golden eye, looked at him, and closed it again. "Rude," Lin Xiao said. "I'm trying to bond with you here." "Bonding with my tiger now, are we?" Lin Xiao nearly fell off the wall. Jiang Heng had a horrible habit of appearing out of nowhere like a ghost who paid taxes. The man moved silently for someone wearing robes that probably weighed as much as a small child. "You really have to stop doing that," Lin Xiao said, hand on his own chest. "One day, you'll give someone an actual heart attack, and then who will run your empire? Da Hu? He can't even hold a brush, his paws are too big." "He'd manage," Jiang Heng said, settling onto the wall beside him, far closer than strictly necessary, in Lin Xiao's professional opinion. "He's smarter than half my council." "That's not exactly a high bar, is it?" Jiang Heng's mouth twitched. "You speak very freely for a minor noble." "Is that a problem, Your Majesty?" "No," Jiang Heng said, watching him with that same quiet, considering look. "It's refreshing. Everyone else in this palace agrees with everything I say before I've finished saying it. You argue with me about tiger names." "Someone has to," Lin Xiao said. "Da Hu deserves better. Maybe something with a little flair. Stripe Lord, Captain Fluffington, the Honorable Sir Bitey." "Sir Bitey," Jiang Heng repeated, deadpan. "He has bitten things," Lin Xiao pointed out. "I assume. Look at those teeth. Those aren't decoration." Jiang Heng actually smiled this time, a real one, not the small twitch from before. And it did something complicated and unfair to Lin Xiao's chest. The man was supposed to be a tragic, brooding male lead who barely cracked a smile across 300 chapters of heartbreak. Nobody warned Lin Xiao he'd be funny too. Funny ruined everything. It was much easier to keep a safe emotional distance from someone boring. A messenger jogged up the garden path, breathless, and bowed so quickly he nearly toppled over. "Your Majesty, the southern envoy has arrived early. Minister Zhao requests your presence immediately." Jiang Heng sighed, the sound of a man who genuinely would rather sit on a wall talking about tiger names all day. "Duty calls." He stood, brushed off his robes, and looked down at Lin Xiao with an expression that lingered a beat too long. Walk with me tomorrow morning. There's a garden path on the east side you haven't seen. Da Hu likes it there. Is that an invitation or an order? Lin Xiao asked. Does it matter? It changes how nervous I should be. Then call it a request, Jiang Heng said, already walking away. From someone who's curious why a minor noble suddenly stopped insulting my tiger and started insulting my taste in names instead. He left before Lin Xiao could think of a comeback, which Lin Xiao considered deeply unfair, because he was usually very good at comebacks, and the emperor kept walking away, right when Lin Xiao needed 3 more seconds to think of one. That night, Lin Xiao pulled out a scrap of paper and a stick of charcoal he'd swiped from the kitchen and tried to map out everything he remembered about the novel's actual chapter 40. The execution happened because Lin Yu humiliated the emperor in front of the southern envoy by insulting Da Hu publicly, causing the tiger to attack in defense, which the court used as an excuse to demand Lin Yu's death for endangering the emperor's life, even though everyone knew it was really about politics and an excuse to remove a minor noble family from influence. The southern envoy had just arrived, early. Lin Xiao stared at his scribbled notes, heart sinking slowly into his stomach. The plot was starting to move again, whether he wanted it to or not. The welcome banquet for the southern envoy was the kind of event Lin Xiao would have once described, in his old life, as a fancy party with too many forks. Now it felt like walking into a trap with extra lanterns. He arrived early, found a seat as far from the center of attention as physically possible, and made a personal vow: speak to no one, insult nothing, survive the night. The vow lasted exactly 40 minutes. Minister Zhao, a thin man with a permanent expression like he'd just smelled something unpleasant, made a point of seating the southern envoy directly across from Lin Xiao's family table. The envoy, a loud man named Lord Han, immediately began complaining about the empire's uncivilized habit of keeping a wild tiger loose in the palace, like it was a household pet. In the south, Lord Han announced to the whole table, loudly enough for nearby guests to turn and listen, "We believe beasts belong in cages, not banquets. It's barbaric, letting such a creature roam free near civilized people." Lin Xiao felt the trap closing before it even fully opened. He knew this scene. This was the exact moment from the book where original Lin Yu, trying to defend the family honor and impress the wrong people, mocked Da Hu loudly enough that the tiger overheard and reacted badly. "He's well trained," Lin Xiao said carefully, keeping his voice calm and quiet, the opposite of original Lin Yu's approach. "He's never harmed anyone unprovoked." Lord Han laughed like Lin Xiao had told a joke. "Unprovoked? A beast doesn't need provocation, boy. It needs an excuse." Across the hall, Da Hu lay near the emperor's throne, ears flicking toward the conversation despite the distance. Tiger's Lin Xiao had learned this past week, paid far more attention to tone than anyone expected. "With respect," Lin Xiao said, "I'd trust that Tiger's judgment over a lot of people in this room." A few nearby nobles snickered. Lord Han's face went red. "Are you comparing me to an animal, boy?" "I would never," Lin Xiao said, smiling pleasantly. "Animals are loyal." The hall went quiet in that specific way. Rooms go quiet right before something terrible happens. Minister Zhao's eyes lit up like he'd just won the lottery, because this was exactly the kind of public embarrassment he could twist into a problem for the emperor's allies. Da Hu chose that moment to rise from his spot by the throne and walk, slow and deliberate, straight toward the commotion. Lin Xiao's stomach dropped through the floor. This was it. This was the moment. The tiger approaches. Lord Han panics and lashes out. Da Hu reacts defensively. Chaos erupts, and somehow Lin Yu gets blamed for endangering the emperor's life with his reckless mouth. Except Da Hu didn't go toward Lord Han. He walked straight past the envoy, ignored him completely, and sat down beside Lin Xiao's chair like a very large, very smug bodyguard, then looked up at Lord Han with golden eyes that somehow managed to look unimpressed. The entire hall stared. "He's protecting him," someone whispered, loud enough to carry. Lord Han's face cycled through several shades of red and white. "This is exactly the disorder I'm talking about." A beast choosing favorites among nobles, deciding who deserves protection. He's not choosing my favorites. Jiang Heng's voice cut through the hall, calm and final, as he rose from his throne and walked down the steps. He's choosing mine. The room went dead silent. Jiang Heng crossed the hall, robes sweeping behind him, and stopped beside Lin Xiao's table, one hand resting briefly on Da Hu's head. This noble has shown my companion more respect this past week than half this court has shown me in a year. I'd watch carefully who you call barbaric, Lord Han, before you insult someone under my protection. Lin Xiao's brain short-circuited at the words "under my protection," said out loud, in front of everyone, by the actual emperor. Lord Han, smart enough to recognize a losing position, bowed stiffly and offered a thin apology before the banquet resumed, with significantly more careful conversation. Later, when the hall had emptied and most of the guests had gone, Lin Xiao found himself alone with Jiang Heng near a side balcony, the night air cool against his still flushed face. "You didn't have to do that," Lin Xiao said. "Defend me, I mean, in front of everyone." "I didn't do it for everyone," Jiang Heng said, leaning on the railing, looking out at the dark garden instead of at Lin Xiao, which somehow made the words land harder. "I did it because Lord Han is an idiot, and because you stood up for my tiger when it would have been easier to stay quiet and let him talk." "I'm not very good at staying quiet," Lin Xiao admitted. "I noticed," Jiang Heng said, finally turning to look at him, something warm and unreadable in his storm-colored eyes. "I like that about you, more than I probably should." Lin Xiao's heart did something embarrassing and loud in his chest. "More than you should? That sounds like a problem for you, not me." "It might be," Jiang Heng said quietly. "We'll find out." Neither of them moved for a long moment, the space between them smaller than it had been a minute ago, and Lin Xiao genuinely could not tell if he wanted to run away or stay exactly where he was standing. Lin Xiao decided, after the banquet, that the safest course of action was distance. Strategic, sensible distance. No more late-night balcony conversations. No more comebacks that made the emperor smile like that. No more accidentally being protected in front of the entire royal court. This plan also lasted approximately 40 minutes, because the next morning, Jiang Heng showed up at his door personally, with Da Hu trotting beside him like an oversized furry chaperone, and announced that the garden walk from before still hadn't happened, and he intended to collect on it. "I have responsibilities," Lin Xiao said, standing in his doorway in his sleep clothes, hair a complete disaster. "Important, noble, things, paperwork." "You don't do paperwork," Jiang Heng said. "I checked." "You checked? You checked?" Lin Xiao repeated, scandalized. "You checked on my paperwork habits?" "I check on a lot of things," Jiang Heng said, unbothered, like this was a completely normal thing for an emperor to admit. "Get dressed. Da Hu's been waiting since sunrise." The East Garden path turned out to be genuinely beautiful, lined with flowering trees Lin Xiao didn't recognize, blossoms the color of sunset drifting down whenever the wind moved. Da Hu walked ahead of them, occasionally chasing a falling petal like the most dignified, terrifying house cat in existence. "He does that with everyone?" Lin Xiao asked, watching the tiger pounce dramatically on a single leaf and miss completely. "No," Jiang Heng said. "Only when he's relaxed. He doesn't relax around strangers. I'm basically still a stranger." "You scolded him to his face within your first week of meeting him," Jiang Heng said. "I don't think stranger has applied to you in a long time." They walked in comfortable quiet for a while, Da Hu occasionally circling back to bump his head against Lin Xiao's hip, like he was checking he was still there, before darting off again to terrorize more innocent leaves. "Can I ask you something serious?" Lin Xiao said eventually, the question slipping out before he'd fully decided to ask it. "Always. Do you ever feel like your whole life was written by someone else? Like every choice you make was already decided before you got there, and you're just walking through motions someone else planned?" Jiang Heng went quiet for a moment, considering it with more weight than Lin Xiao expected. "Every day," he finally said. "Being emperor means most of my life was decided before I was born. Who I marry, who I trust, who I execute, who I name as heir. Sometimes it feels like the only thing that's actually mine is small. a walk in the garden, a tiger who likes me for no political reason. A conversation with someone who argues with me about tiger names instead of agreeing with everything I say. Lin Xiao felt something tighten painfully in his chest, because that answer hit closer to his actual situation than Jiang Heng could possibly know. What if you found out you could change it? The parts that feel already decided? Then I'd want to know who decided it in the first place, Jiang Heng said, looking at him directly now, eyes searching Lin Xiao's face like he was looking for an answer to a question he hadn't asked out loud, and whether the version of events they wrote was even worth following. The silence after that felt loaded with something neither of them said directly. Da Hu chose that exact moment to come barreling back through the path, completely ruining the moment by shaking pollen off his fur directly onto both of them. Da Hu, Lin Xiao sputtered, waving yellow dust out of his face. Personal space, we talked about this. Jiang Heng laughed, real and unguarded, brushing pollen from his own sleeve. He has terrible timing. Or perfect timing, Lin Xiao muttered, grateful for the interruption even as some small, traitorous part of him wished it hadn't come quite so fast. Later that day, alone in his room, Lin Xiao finally allowed himself to think the thought he'd been avoiding for days. He didn't want to escape this story anymore, just to survive it. He wanted to escape the tragedy specifically, the execution, the politics, the original ending where Lin Yu disappeared so the real couple could have their happy ever after. But the real couple, according to the book, was Jiang Heng and a beast companion who could transform into human form during the climax. A noble warrior named Mu Chen who didn't appear until chapter 60, long after Lin Yu's death scene. Da Hu hadn't transformed into anyone yet. Which meant either the story had already changed enough to delay it, or Mu Chen simply hadn't shown up yet, and when he did, everything Lin Xiao had built over the past 2 weeks might fall apart completely. Mu Chen arrived on a Tuesday, which Lin Xiao found almost funny, given that the worst things in his life kept happening on the most boring days of the week. He was announced at the palace gates as a wandering cultivator who claimed old ties to the royal bloodline, requesting an audience with the emperor over matters concerning the royal tiger's true nature. Lin Xiao heard the announcement secondhand from a gossiping servant and nearly choked on his tea. True nature, Lin Xiao repeated, heart pounding, as in the rumor that Da Hu isn't an ordinary tiger at all, the servant whispered excitedly. Some say he's cursed. Some say he's a transformed prince from a fallen kingdom. Lin Xiao knew exactly what he was, because he'd read the book. Da Hu was indeed cursed, indeed once human, and would indeed transform back into a gorgeous, brooding warrior named Mu Chen, sometime around chapter 60, setting off the official start of the novel's central romance. Mu Chen, when Lin Xiao finally saw him being escorted through the main hall, looked exactly like every dramatic illustration from the book's cover. Tall, sharp-eyed, dressed like he'd walked straight out of a tragic poem, with the kind of cheekbones that probably had their own fan club. Oh no, Lin Xiao whispered to absolutely nobody. Again, his signature move at this point. He's early too. Everything was arriving early. The envoy, the male lead, probably the apocalypse next. Lin Xiao spent the entire audience hiding behind a pillar like a complete coward, watching Mu Chen bow before Jiang Heng and explain, in a voice far too dramatic for casual conversation, that the curse on Da Hu could only be lifted by the one bonded to him in heart, and that he, Mu Chen, had traveled across 3 kingdoms specifically to find that person and break the spell. And do you know who that person is? Jiang Heng asked, his tone carefully neutral in a way Lin Xiao had learned meant he was thinking very hard about something. I believe it is fate's design that I, who shares blood with the cursed bloodline, am meant to break the curse through bonded ritual, Mu Chen said. Lin Xiao, behind his pillar, mouthed the word ritual like it personally offended him. Da Hu, lying near the throne, lifted his head at Mu Chen's voice, sniffed the air once, and then, to everyone's visible surprise, got up, walked across the hall, completely past Mu Chen, and trotted straight toward the pillar Lin Xiao was hiding behind, tail swishing happily. Busted. Lin Xiao muttered as Da Hu shoved his huge head into Lin Xiao's hiding spot, exposing him to the entire hall. Mu Chen's confident expression flickered, just slightly, watching the tiger ignore him completely in favor of a minor noble cowering behind palace architecture. Interesting, Jiang Heng said, and Lin Xiao could hear the smile in his voice without even looking up. He doesn't seem very bonded to you, cultivator. Curses can be complicated, Mu Chen said stiffly, clearly recalculating his entire plan in real time. After the audience, Lin Xiao practically sprinted to find Jiang Heng alone, heart still racing from the embarrassment of being dragged out from behind a pillar by an overly affectionate tiger. You can't trust him, Lin Xiao said, before he'd even fully thought through how that sentence would sound. Mu Chen, there's something off about his whole story. Jiang Heng studied him with that careful, considering look again. You sound very certain, for someone who just met him for the first time today. Lin Xiao's mouth opened, then closed. He couldn't exactly say, I read about this in a book in my past life. So instead he said, call it instinct. I have very good instincts about overly dramatic people with too many cheekbones. You think he has too many cheekbones? He has like 4. Nobody needs 4. Jiang Heng laughed, but the humor faded quickly into something more serious. I don't fully trust him either, he admitted quietly. But if there's any truth to a curse on Da Hu, I owe it to him to find out. He's been like this since before I was born. My father found him already cursed, already a tiger, with no memory of who he used to be. Lin Xiao's chest ached at that, an old grief he hadn't expected to feel second-hand. Then we find out the truth, he said, just carefully. Not by trusting the first guy who shows up claiming to have all the answers and a fate-given destiny. We, Jiang Heng repeated softly, like the word meant something specific to him. I mean, Lin Xiao said, suddenly aware of what he'd said. You. Obviously you, your tiger, your curse, your problem. You said we first, Jiang Heng said, stepping closer, eyes warm despite the seriousness of the conversation. I'm choosing to remember that part. Lin Xiao did not have a comeback for that one. For once, he stayed quiet and let the silence say what he wasn't ready to say out loud yet. The investigation into Mu Chen took 3 days, and Lin Xiao spent every single one of them simultaneously terrified and oddly excited, which he decided was a personality flaw he'd examine later, possibly never. It was Jiang Heng's personal guard captain, a sharp older woman named Wei Lan, who finally uncovered the truth after quietly digging into Mu Chen's background. She arrived at Jiang Heng's private study one evening, with a face like thunder and a scroll full of evidence. He's not from the cursed bloodline, Wei Lan said, dropping the scroll on the table. He's the son of the sorcerer who cursed Da Hu in the first place, 15 years ago, during the war between our empire and the fallen kingdom. His father's curse was never about love or bonding. It was about control. If Mu Chen completes a bonding ritual, he doesn't break the curse. He claims ownership of the tiger's power for himself. Lin Xiao, sitting in the corner trying very hard to look like he belonged in this very serious political meeting, felt his stomach drop. This wasn't in the book. None of this backstory existed in the 312 chapters he'd read. The original story painted Mu Chen as a tragic hero, the true bonded soulmate, the rightful partner for Jiang Heng's grand romance. Either the book had lied to its readers the whole time, or something about this world had changed enough to reveal a truth the original story conveniently buried. So the entire true love breaks the curse story is fake, Lin Xiao said slowly. It appears so, Wei Lan said. The real way to break the curse, according to these old records, isn't a bloodline ritual at all. It's something far simpler and far harder to fake. Which is? Jiang Heng asked. Genuine bond, Wei Lan said. Not blood, not ritual. The curse breaks when the tiger willingly chooses someone, completely, without manipulation or magic forcing the connection. The old sorcerer designed it that way on purpose, believing real love was rare enough that the curse would never break at all. The room went very quiet. Lin Xiao felt every single eye in the study slowly turn toward him, including, embarrassingly, Da Hu's, who had been lying by the door the entire time, and now lifted his massive head with what looked suspiciously like a satisfied tiger smile. Don't, Lin Xiao said immediately, holding up both hands. Don't everyone look at me. I scolded this tiger to his face 2 weeks ago. We are not love story material. He's never bonded with anyone else in 15 years, Jiang Heng said quietly, eyes fixed entirely on Lin Xiao now. Not me, not my father, not a single noble or servant in this entire palace. 2 weeks ago, you walked into his life, insulted him, and somehow became the only person he's ever chosen. That sounds like a Da Hu problem, not a me problem, Lin Xiao said weakly. Da Hu chose that moment to stand, walk over, and lay his enormous head directly in Lin Xiao's lap, golden eyes blinking up at him with what could only be described as smug satisfaction. I think, Wei Lan said, fighting a smile, the tiger disagrees. Outside the study window, thunder rumbled, dark clouds rolling in fast over the palace, and for a brief, dramatic second, Da Hu's fur seemed to shimmer faintly, like moonlight catching on water, before settling back to normal stripes. That's new, Jiang Heng said, watching closely. That's terrifying, Lin Xiao corrected, looking down at the tiger currently drooling slightly on his robes. Is he transforming? Right now? In this study? I am not prepared for a naked man to appear in my lap, Your Majesty. I need at least a warning. He's not transforming yet, Wei Lan said, examining the old scroll again. But the bond is clearly already forming. If it completes, the curse breaks fully, and Da Hu returns to human form permanently. Mu Chen, when confronted later that night with the evidence of his father's true plan, didn't even bother denying it gracefully. His calm, poetic mask cracked completely, revealing something colder and far more desperate underneath, and he fled the palace before guards could detain him, vanishing into the storm with a promise that this wasn't over. Lin Xiao stood beside Jiang Heng on the palace steps, watching the rain fall. Da Hu pressed warm against both their legs like he was trying to keep the whole group together by sheer physical force. This is a lot, Lin Xiao admitted quietly, for a Tuesday. It's Wednesday now, Jiang Heng said, checking the position of the moon with the casual precision of someone who'd spent his whole life tracking time for an empire. Even worse, Lin Xiao said. I hate when the days blend together during a crisis. Jiang Heng turned to look at him, rain dripping from his dark hair, expression softer than Lin Xiao had ever seen it. Whatever this bond means, whatever it turns out to be, I'm glad it's you. Lin Xiao's heart, the absolute traitor that it was, decided that was the exact moment to skip several beats at once. A full week passed after Mu Chen's disappearance, filled with extra guards, careful precautions, and absolutely no further giant magical plot twists, which Lin Xiao considered a personal win after the month he'd had. He'd also spent that week doing something he hadn't planned on, falling slowly and completely for a fictional emperor he was supposed to be terrified of. It happened in small moments. The way Jiang Heng saved him a specific snack from dinner because he'd mentioned liking it once, weeks ago, and apparently never forgot. The way Da Hu now slept outside Lin Xiao's door every single night like an oversized, furry security system, nobody asked for but everybody appreciated. The way Jiang Heng's hand found his during quiet walks now, easy and natural, like it had always belonged there. The final twist came on a calm evening, in the same garden where their first real conversation happened, blossoms falling just like before, Da Hu lounging nearby looking entirely too pleased with himself. I need to tell you something, Lin Xiao said, finally deciding the truth couldn't stay buried inside him forever. Something that's going to sound completely insane. After the month we've had, Jiang Heng said, I think I can handle insane. So Lin Xiao told him everything. The novel, his old life, reading about this exact world for 312 chapters before dying and waking up inside it. The original execution scene he'd been desperately trying to avoid since day one. The fact that none of this, Da Hu's bond, Mu Chen's betrayal, any of it, matched what the book originally promised. He expected disbelief. He expected fear, or anger, or at the very least a very awkward silence. Instead, Jiang Heng was quiet for a long moment, processing, before he said softly, That explains so much. That's it? That explains so much? I just told you I'm from another world, and you're a fictional character, And you say that explains so much? You stopped being afraid of consequences the moment you decided to be kind instead of careful, Jiang Heng said. Most people who grow up in this court learn caution before kindness. You did it backward. I always wondered why. So you believe me? I believe, Jiang Heng said, stepping closer, taking both of Lin Xiao's hands in his, that whatever story was originally written for either of us, we've already changed it completely. The execution never happened. The true love twist turned out to be a lie. Da Hu chose you, against every prediction in your book. I don't care what was supposed to happen, Lin Xiao. I care about what's actually happening, right now, between us. Lin Xiao felt something tight and afraid finally loosen completely in his chest, an emotion he'd been carrying since the day he woke up in this world, terrified of dying exactly the way the book demanded. I was so scared, he admitted quietly, every single day, waiting for the story to catch up and finish me off anyway. It won't, Jiang Heng said firmly. I won't let it. Whatever ending that book wanted to give you, you're getting a different one you actually choose. Behind them, Da Hu let out a long, contented rumble, shimmering faintly again under the moonlight, fur fading at the edges like mist clearing from a window. Is he? Lin Xiao started. I think, Jiang Heng said, watching with quiet wonder. The bond just completed. Lin Xiao watched, breath caught, as Da Hu's shimmering form slowly, gently shifted, paws lengthening into hands, stripes softening into ordinary warm skin, until a young man knelt where the tiger had been, dark hair messy, expression dazed and disbelieving, looking up at both of them, like he'd just woken from a 15-year dream. He looked nothing like Mu Chen's dramatic descriptions. He looked younger, kinder, with an easy smile already forming, despite the confusion clearly written across his face. That was a lot of naps, he said, voice rough from disuse. Did I miss anything important? Lin Xiao burst out laughing, loud and real, all the fear and tension of the past month breaking apart at once. Buddy, he said, wiping his eyes, you have absolutely no idea. Jiang Heng pulled Lin Xiao close against his side, watching his old companion adjust to having hands again with patient amusement, and pressed a soft kiss to the top of Lin Xiao's head. No tragic ending, Jiang Heng murmured. No book deciding our story, just us, choosing this every single day from now on. Even with a newly human tiger guy crashing in the palace? Lin Xiao asked, grinning up at him. Especially with him, Jiang Heng said, smiling. He's family now too. Above them, the storm clouds had finally cleared, leaving a sky full of stars, and for the first time since waking up in this strange, beautiful, terrifying world, Lin Xiao felt something he hadn't expected to feel at all. Safe, loved, and completely, happily, free of any tragic ending ever again.